What if I told you that in the history of professional boxing, there has never been a more dangerous man to insult than Mike Tyson? Not because he was the most eloquent, but because his responses were more than words.
I want to fight, and destruct the world because I'm the best fighter in the world. Fight anybody my trainer put me in with because I'm confident I could beat any fighter in the world. They're just as good as dead.
They were promises. Promises written in pain, sealed with a knockout, and delivered with a chilling, primal fury. This is the code of the jungle, and Mike Tyson was its undisputed king. Follow us as we look at some of Mike Tyson's most outrageous responses to disrespect both in the press and in the ring. Before he was a target for Mike Tyson, Tyrell Biggs was an American hero. The 1984 Olympic gold medalist, a slick, technically gifted heavyweight who seemed destined for greatness and would later challenge the great Iron Mike Tyson. For weeks leading up to their 1987 fight, Biggs launched a campaign of psychological warfare. He mocked Tyson's intelligence, calling him dumb. He even cruelly taunted Tyson about his well-documented drug and alcohol use, a low blow meant to rattle him. This wasn't just pre-fight hype. For Tyson, this was a deep, personal disrespect. But Tyson didn't respond with words. He responded with a game plan born of pure, unadulterated fury. He told his trainer, Kevin Rooney, a chilling promise. I'm going to punish him. I'm going to make him suffer. This is going to be a long, long night. And from the opening bell, Tyson made good on his promise. He didn't just fight Tyrell Biggs. He dismantled him. He systematically broke down the Olympian with crippling body shots that stole his win in his will. For 7 rounds, Tyson turned the ring into a torture chamber, offering Biggs no escape, no mercy, just a relentless, physical rebuttal to every single word of trash talk.
But now, it's all but over. Tyrell has no legs left. Go ahead, Mike. Put a bow on this package. Good.
After Mike's brutal 7-round revenge, he talked some trash of his own.
Body punching, I heard him, actually he was crying in there, making woman gestures like,
Iron Mike would go on to face many more loud mouths in his career, yet every time ended with the same result. Michael Spinks and his team used the ultimate disrespect. They negotiated for a bigger paycheck than the champion, Mike Tyson. They fueled a narrative that Tyson was distracted and beatable. This riled Mike up more than anyone could have expected.
I use the fear to reflect it on my opponent, because fear I use as my friend. It's my friend. If I don't have it, I don't fight.
Sure, he still had some life left in his 32-year-old legs, but it took Mike Tyson no time at all to solve the riddle of the Spinks. Ouch! Wah-wah!
There's a couple of left hands and a big right hand. Oh, holy smokes!
And then seconds later, he puts the finishing touch on this masterpiece. Bam!
It is all over, ladies and gentlemen!
Rocked him. He's out!
91 seconds, that's all it took. Mike Tyson didn't just knock out Michael Spinks, he silenced the doubt, settled the debate, and collected every single cent of that disrespectful paycheck. Mike's knockout against Spinks was brutal, but the #1 spot isn't just about a knockout. It's about psychological warfare at its most terrifying. Before his 1986 fight with Jesse Ferguson, Ferguson made the mistake of saying he would outbox Tyson and expose him. In a now legendary locker room clip, a 19-year-old Tyson said, and I quote, "I'll try to catch him to the body, then I'll rip his nose up through his brain. I'll make him kiss the canvas and I'll piss on him." In the ring, he did just that.
Let me give you a hint, Junior. No.
Here we go. He is a fast starter.
Tyson demolished him with non-stop wicked body shots and topped it off with one of his all-time sickest right uppercuts. Jab out!
And now he's in trouble here. Blood coming out from the nose of Jesse Ferguson. The right uppercut.
Right to the biggie man's booger locker. Oh, let's see it again. Then Ferguson makes his biggest mistake. He gets back up.
Up at 9 is Jesse Ferguson.
Tyson had yet to go this deep in a fight before, so his finishing skills weren't quite honed yet. But luckily, he gets some on-the-jaw training here, thanks to Jesse. All Ferguson can do is try and hang on.
I think that uppercut broke Ferguson's nose, Jim. He is in desperate trouble. He will not last much longer.
But by the 6th round, the ref gets tired of Fergie's hugs, not slugs policy and stops the fight. Put it in the books as a DQ.
Mike Tyson learned to bottle every insult, every slight, and let it ferment into the raw fuel that powered his terrifying ring persona. If the psychological dismantling of Jesse Ferguson was a warning from a young predator, then his fight with Frank Bruno was the same predator, now champion, delivering on a promise made in cold blood. Frank Bruno repeatedly questioned Mike Tyson's heart and mentality, telling the press he believed Tyson was afraid and that he could exploit his personal troubles. He spoke as if the champion was already broken. But in the ring, Mike Tyson had the final say, letting his fist do the talking and silencing Bruno for good.
These two get right down to business. And Mike wastes no time sending Bruno through the ropes with a right.
Oh, big right hand.
After that, Bruno went into his hugs, not slugs defense for the next 4 rounds or so.
Punching out, you hold him, Frank!
He does get off one solid left. But late in round 5, when Mike is finally able to get some separation, he treats Bruno to a star-spangled beatdown for the land of the guy and the home of the goodies.
Holy cow, did he deliver!
Somebody throwing the tea towel. The party's over.
Mike Tyson looked like a bull in an antique shop. And what he did was he cut down the old grandfather clock.
He wasn't about to hug him for 12 rounds because he was trying to impress his Englishmen out here. And I'm just convinced, you know what I mean? These fellas, how dare them challenge me with their somewhat primitive skills? They're just as good as dead.
And so it continued. Through the late 80s and into the 90s, Mike Tyson waged a one-man reign of terror. He was a hurricane of violence, leaving a trail of shattered contenders and silenced critics in his wake. Until a British heavyweight champion named Lennox Lewis would come along and challenge Mike Tyson. The feud between Tyson and Lewis wasn't just trash talk. It was a psychological war that spilled into outright chaos. Tyson hurled some of the most infamous threats in sports history, telling Lewis he would eat his children and that he was going to crush his skull. Fans were nearly certain Tyson would come out on top, but the results would shock everyone who witnessed Tyson's road to glory.
Round 1, Lewis sets the pace and takes it right to Tyson. Instead of delivering devastating punches, he's collecting them with his face.
Excellent shot.
And here's something you hardly ever heard in Tyson's career. Tyson goes down. By round 8, bam! Lewis tags Tyson with a brutal Tyson-like uppercut. Lewis slams another devastating uppercut and another overhand right.
Oh, big mistake!
Oh! Big right! Good night!
Wow! Completely puts him to sleep.
The once unbeatable Mike Tyson has been destroyed.
When Mike Tyson finally fell to Lennox Lewis, the world witnessed the unthinkable. The baddest man on the planet humbled. But that single defeat could never overshadow the decade of dominance that came before it. Tyson's true legacy isn't just a record. It's the sheer seismic impact he had on the sport. He transformed boxing into must-see theater of raw, unfiltered violence, and forever made opponents regret trash-talking the great Iron Mike